From the darkest corners of Tumblr comes a podcast where we take two of your favorite fictional characters, get them together, and ask, do we ship it? Hey guys, welcome back to Ships in the Night. I'm Zach Wilson.
And I'm Montgomery T. Audio Problems. I was the one who messed up our board before the beginning of this recording. I'm the reason it took 15 minutes to get started today.
The board is fine, Greg. You didn't have to tell the audience about it.
Listen, people want to peek behind the curtain at what this glorious podcasting life is like. And every now and again, you have to restart your audio board. Otherwise, you go out to an electronics store hoping to find a cable, and they don't have the cable, even though they said they had the cable on the phone. Guys, the life of Montgomery T. Audio Problems is very difficult. That's all I was saying.
Well, someone who is no stranger to the podcast life, hashtag podcast life, is our guest today. I'd like to welcome our friend Stephen Lemieux. He is the executive producer of Maria Menounos' podcasting empire, including AfterBuzzTV, Popcorn Talk, BHL. Stephen, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm very disheartened by the fact that did not have XLR cords.
Dude, you can't say their name on the air.
It's all right. Well,
trying to cloak
all
them.
the audience heard was a bleep.
Okay, fair enough. I was kind of shocked as well, but look, man, the universe righted itself out. We're here. We're recording. Theoretically, all the lines and levels are going up and down. I think we're okay.
The red light is on.
That's all that we need.
Should these sparks be coming out of this jury-rigged XLR cord, Zach?
That's what I learned in film school. $120,000. They said, hold the sparks.
Yeah, we have to tape during a thunderstorm, I learned.
All right. Well, I think we should get started with our first ship of the night. So this one came to us. This one we found online and had to really investigate because it was such a weird one. It had to be discussed. We found it on fanfiction.net. Dr. FRASIER CRANE of Frasier and Cheers fame and Walter White of Breaking Bad.
Oh boy.
What is your guys' initial reactions to this?
Two zaddies come together.
You're right. Jesus, I didn't even think about it, but the zaddy energy is strong on this one.
Can you clarify for our audience what exactly a zaddy is?
It's like an older man who has the potential to be a sugar daddy, but now they sugar daddy themselves with crystal meth and radio voices.
Yeah, I am the one who makes scrambled eggs all over my face.
Could you make me some scrambled eggs in bed?
Hey, baby, I hear that blue will call in. Come on, it was right there.
Methamphetamine and scrambled eggs.
Now that those necessary jokes are out of the way, we got to talk about...
low-hanging fruit is picked.
Yeah, we couldn't get through this without doing it, but now that we have, how do these two meet? What is the meet cute for Frasier and Walter White?
Well, obviously, Frasier is a very busy man, and he requires a little extra pep in his step to get through the day. And possibly he was, tapping into a little bit of a methamphetamine.
All right, because look, no one's listening to the radio anymore. Dr. Drew has made Frasier almost unnecessary, so he has to put in extra hours to make himself... viable to make it so he can work enough to get his name back out there in 2019.
His hourly rate has dropped to only $500. He's got to boost some hours.
I love this. The station manager is like, look, Bulldog is now going on from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single night, and then it's 4 hours of infomercials. You have the 12 to 8 a.m. shift on radio. And Frasier, you know him. He's just got to, during the day, he's got to attend operas, and he has to be writing his sonatas and making delicate crumpets. I don't remember what Frasier likes to do in his spare time.
Except for the crumpets. That was pretty much spot on.
But yeah, he needs something to power him through those opera-filled days and psychology-filled nights.
And lucky for him, now that Pollos Hermanos is gone, their radio station has become the new place to smuggle in drugs. And that's how, through a chance meeting at the radio station where Walter White's opening microphones that have been filled with methamphetamines, they meet.
I could totally see this. If radio isn't doing anything, so they have to start making money by opening themselves up to drug smuggling.
It's just like every single hour, it's like, we're having our special microphone giveaway down here at the radio station.
Oh, man. All of the radio winners. That's why you can never win on the radio, because all the winners are pre-picked, and those are the people buying drugs.
And that's why we were out of XLR cords, because they're packed full of drugs and being bought and sold by these radio stations.
The wires are filled with crystal.
You want to buy some XLRs, bitch?
All right, so this is how they meet, and I think it's that Frasier discovers this. He finds out that he doesn't know that the station has been selling drugs. He walks into the wrong room looking for Roz. I say, Roz, the show must go on. What is this?
Ross is fully naked with just a little bit of like one of those breathing masks on, and she's packing it into the microphones.
Well, he had to make extra money, Frasier.
I'm just keeping your show going.
Yeah.
Now do your part.
Listen, it's not easy being a single mom in the big city. Like, I gotta do something to survive.
So, is it that Frasier sort of jumps, like, he sees what Walter White is doing, and is like, teach me, so this is the question, is he trying to learn the drug trade, or does he try to shut down the drug trade?
I think he gets involved in the drug trade, but it's like one of those relationships where it's like, you know, you do your thing, I do mine, I appreciate what you do. I just imagine he walks out of that room after seeing Roz covered in methamphetamine, runs into Walter White in the hallway, Walt drops a bag, they both reach down to grab it, and their hands graze each other. They look into each other's eyes, and it's done. And it's done.
And then they stab each other like, that's my meth! No, they don't stab each other.
Walt was like, what's my name?
Oh my God, so here's a question. Do they start working with each other to build up each other's business? Because a psychiatrist who would prescribe amphetamines on the regular, let's be honest about this, especially in 2019, it's the ADD era. Frasier Crane is prescribing lots of amphetamines to people. But does he then be like, and if this isn't enough, we can add a meth to the front of that amphetamine?
Caller, it sounds like you need something that will keep you up for 7 days in a row, ripping copper wiring out of the walls. I'm not sure how that's going to help with my mother-in-law. Oh, trust me, it will.
You won't care about her after this.
I can see this. They run into each other, and you know that Frasier is going to treat him like, he's going to treat Walter White like a sommelier or something. He's like, ooh, this methamphetamine has a very nice tincture to it. I'd say, what year is this methamphetamine?
They go to like meth events, the Catalina wine mixer of meth. They start like building clientele in the upper New York circle with Frasier.
Oh, it's a whole new market.
Yeah, it's everything. Now he's bi-coastal.
And this would be totally up Walt's alley because he's never liked selling to the downtrodden. He's always seen that as something that's a negative part of his business. He wants to make, he likes the science, he likes making the drugs, but he doesn't want to hurt people. So the rich who are just looking for their weekend away from their problems on methamphetamines are totally his favorite market.
It's the Walter and Frasier gluten-free paleo meth. Like, what's the packaging look like? It's like a brown paper bag with like their faces stamped on it.
Yeah, it's butcher paper with artisanal twine and like a handmade stamp that they put on
a little
every single
scroll
one.
might have been put in it with like
Is
dosing
this
instructions.
meth organic? They have a stall at the farmer's market.
Free samples, free samples.
Yeah, Frasier elevates this business. Like, look, Gus Fring elevated Walt's business by giving him like fancy facilities, but Frasier makes this product the most classy drug you could ever try.
Frasier, Seattle, do you like the opera? Well, now you're going to fucking love the opera.
I enjoy nice Chianti, followed by lots of meth. Do you think there's any drama between them two, though? Because is it infatuation that prevents Frasier from turning Walter in? Like, does he understand the legal ramifications of what's going on?
Well, so this has got to be the big question, is like how this relationship goes once they're together, because we've outlined how they're business partners in this, but obviously Walt and Skyler, even when they were business partners, were still not always seeing eye to eye. So does this work better than that relationship, or is this just is it gonna be the same cycle repeating itself?
I mean, Walt's terrible at lying, so the moment he has to do anything that's like something he doesn't want to tell Frasier, and Frasier's great at pointing out lies.
So I think you hit the nail on the head. That's the phrase. You hit the nail on the head right there, because if Frasier sees an opportunity to, like, let's say, bolster the business, and maybe it's not even something he didn't really mean anything by it. Like, it was a chance to go pitch their product to a big wig, and he had to do it without Walt, but Walt is not going to take that very well. He is the one who knocks. He is the one who takes those meetings, not Frasier.
Yeah, there's got to be a power struggle dynamic, because they're both like alpha male businessmen in the streets.
Yeah. Oh, well, that begs if they're alpha type businessmen in the streets, what are they like in the sheets?
I mean, I just think that it's going to be real loving and caring. These two are so pent up and angry and stuff during the day. When they actually get a chance to relax together, it's going to be all snuggles and cuddles from here on out.
I'll bet Walt has a really tough time relaxing until he slips into Frasier's 8,000 thread count silk sheets. And it's like an orgasmic experience of bedding like he has never had before in his life.
But the moment he leaves the sheets, he's back to Heisenberg. And that drives Frasier crazy, because it's like, honey, come back to bed. Won't you just come back and make me some scrambled eggs? No, the business calls. And Frasier's more in his emotions, I think. So Frasier's going to be the one who goes to everyone at the office like, I just don't feel like Walter really cares about me the way that I care about him.
Frasier is famously bad at dealing with his own psychological problems. So he wouldn't even recognize it at first. He'd be complaining, and they're like, you're in a bad relationship. It's not a bad relationship.
I think the radio show might turn into Frasier venting about his relationship with Walt, and ratings might go down.
Oh, does he accidentally spill the beans about their business on the radio?
Oh, that's totally an episode of Frasier, for sure. And then, he has to go to great lengths to make sure that Heisenberg doesn't hear the broadcast for that day. Frasier, you told me that you want me to listen to your show more, so I'm gonna make time today. Let's listen. No, let's go out. Let's enjoy coffee. I know. We'll go down to the coffee and we'll meet up with Niles and it'll be a great... No, Frasier, I'm gonna listen to this broadcast come hell or high water.
Whoops, smartphone in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Niles. What's he think of all this? Is he, jealous of their relationship now that he's not as important to Frasier?
I think Niles is trying to bring them down the whole time.
Is he...
Right?
Is he working with the cops or something? Have we brought the whole... the cops just don't know how to book them, but they're advertising meth on the radio?
Oh, yeah. Hank totally gets Niles into a trap. He, puts out a flyer for, 2008 Chiantis. And Niles shows up, and then Hank's yelling in his face, you're gonna help me bring these fuckers down. And I was like, I say, you will not use that tone with me.
Niles just busts through the door with the DEA unit. It's like, well, Frasier. It seems the tables have turned, my good brother.
Well, I guess the other thing is, Frasier literally lives with a former cop.
Oh, shit.
So that's the other thing. There is a similarity there where they both have cops in the house while they're doing all of this drug peddling.
But does Frasier's roommate just kind of not ask questions because of all the extra income, making their place really nice?
I think I think you're right. That is totally why Martin. That's why Martin doesn't say anything, because Frasier keeps plying him with new fancy things, getting him the fanciest craft brews, so big screen TVs to watch the football games on.
Frasier, what's this pile of crystals on the table? Well, don't look at that. I just bought you a brand new TV.
Eddie is fucking living large. Eddie has his own penthouse now.
With like 3 female dogs like running around.
A veritable harem of bitches.
Yeah.
Can I have that on a shirt? What's a live read for meth sound like?
Ooh.
I say, has a day of managing hedge funds got you down? Need a little bit of pep in your step? Try Fraser and Heisenberg's artisanal blue crystals. Don't ask what's in it. It's natural. It's fine. Just have it. Look at how shiny it is.
As much as 95% pure.
Yeah.
Bitch.
In the quotation marks in like a nice calligraphy font.
Yeah.
Customer reviews. Bitch, Jesse.
Oh, well, Jesse has got to be a factor in this, right?
Is he, though? I think Jesse's still in Arizona.
So he just pieces out. I mean, this is also in my head, this all happened post Breaking Bad, where Walter White magically survived at the end and then ran off to Seattle to hide.
Wait, but you're right. What if Jesse's not in the picture for their relationship, but then he shows up? And this is Jesse showing up to a high-fashion, high-class New York event. And if Frasier assumes that Jesse and Walt were a relationship.
I mean, if this is like post Breaking Bad world where Jesse wanted him dead, then yeah, I could totally see him crash. He starts hearing about the emergence of blue crystal in the Seattle wealthy heiress scene, and he shows up. Yeah, he crashes the party.
Maybe the end of Breaking Bad where he's just in the car laughing is him driving to New York to meet Frasier. He's going to take down the East Coast Empire now.
Oh.
I can see this. And
Yeah.
I think that's probably like the logical conclusion of the relationship. Because Jesse comes in there and then Frasier sees like, look, Heisenberg, it's been a fun run for you and me, but I think we both know that we're from different worlds. And then Heisenberg's like, shit, you're right. I gotta go back to Arizona. I gotta do my thing.
Does it ends? They're from New Mexico, by the way.
We have fucked up so many locations that we're like, oh yeah, FRASIER CRANE, the famous New York doctor.
It's Seattle. Duh.
Hey, look, Kelsey Grammer was talking about our new reboot coming out soon. He could go to New York.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
But either way, does this relationship end at that point? Do they have like one more roll in the silk sheets? Or does it end badly?
I think it ends on an episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because FRASIER CRANE is now on that show with his wife.
Wait, is that
Ex-wife.
real?
Yeah, his ex-wife, right? Kelsey Grammer's ex-wife is now on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I didn't know that.
This is news to me. Holy shit. So this is turns out to be a triple platform crossover.
Yeah.
Do I have to watch The Real Housewives now?
No, you don't. 1,000 times no, you don't.
All right, so they wind up in L.A. now, of all places.
Oh, Jesus.
No, but like, so they split up at that point. Once
Yeah.
Jesse crashes their business to a halt, because he's gonna at this point in Jesse's life, he's gonna turn them in. He didn't give a shit.
I think he's going to kill him.
Oh, you think he's gonna just try to
I think he
kill him?
wants his zaddy back.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly how I see it unfolding, too. Is it's like, no, I want Walter back. Like, make my world whole again back in New Mexico.
If Jesse's gonna kill anybody, I think it's gonna be Walt
Yeah.
at the end of Breaking Bad.
But Jesse's never experienced like a high-class living. So maybe he walks into the Frasier's apartment and is like,
Somebody hands him a brandy and a
I
snifter.
could have this. Like, this
Yeah.
is way better than New Mexico.
Exactly. Yo, Mr. White, come on, treat me to the good life. Let's do this. Me
Oh
and
my
you.
god!
Let's pop some caviar with the boys.
Are we slash-ficking Walt and Jesse now?
It can be a little bit of everything. Look, I think the point is, regardless of how things turn out with Walt and Jesse, I think that this is the end of the relationship for Frasier and Walter White.
Yeah, he winds
And it's-
up
It's just like a beautiful little send. It's like in every single Frasier breakup, right? It's just the very like, well, I respect you and this is all fine, but we should probably go our separate ways.
Yeah, fair enough. I could totally see him like on the radio that night, and they say that the drug trade is nothing but victims. And I just want to say, if you're listening out there, well, this is Dr. FRASIER CRANE. I'm listening. And then he signs off.
But they're like technically business partners too, and business partners, when Walt breaks up with them, don't fare too well. Do you think Frasier survives?
Frasier's a little too high profile, I think, for Walt to go after. And there's probably enough respect at that point that he would let him be. Okay. Since Frasier's not, he's going to go back to peddling amphetamines.
Yeah.
Instead of methamphetamines.
Frasier is unkillable in the grand scheme of things. If we've learned anything from the years of television that he has been on, it's FRASIER CRANE will never die.
Well, FRASIER CRANE in television canon is invincible.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a sitcom. It has to start over in the next episode.
Yeah. They say that there's nothing worse than withdrawals from meth. But I would argue withdrawal of the human heart is even worse. And then he's just crying on air for all of Seattle.
And it dips to black.
Yeah. Oh, baby, I hear the blues are calling. It's Walter White singing this one.
All right. I think that's gonna close the book, the meth-filled book that was FRASIER CRANE and Walter White. We're gonna take a quick break and then come back with our next ship that came to us from Reddit. So be prepared for that. And we're back. And we got our next ship from a user on Reddit, Spiegelmensch. So thank you, Spiegelmensch, for sending us Doom Guy, the unnamed protagonist from the Doom franchise, and Master Chief, the protagonist from the Halo franchise. 2 first-person shooters. Are they going to shoot love?
God damn it.
What do you guys think?
They're going to shoot love in their suits.
It's my love gun, my love BFG.
It's a BFC 2000.
Oh, God.
Big fucking cuddles. I'm gonna cuddle you like you've never been cuddled before.
It's just you hear clanking of metal from the other room and you know that they're getting it on.
I mean, they're both in, like, ridiculously heavy armor.
Yeah, we've discussed a little bit the armor problem when it comes to Master Chief on this show in the past. But I think at least they're both in a similar boat where, yeah, maybe they can just clang their metal parts together. And
like, Doom Guy has no knowledge of Master Chief's emotions, and Master Chief can only tell Doom Guy's emotions by how his face looks in the bottom center of the screen.
Yeah.
Well, so this is... this is the interesting thing about this one. You've got Doom Guy, who's essentially a blank slate of a person. He has no personality because he's supposed to be the player themselves.
He never talks. He's never said a word as far as
yeah.
we know.
He is absolutely the strong silent type. And while John 17, Master Chief, is not the most personable. He's not even a human being.
There's enough canon for personality.
But he does have a personality. He's a very militaristic person. He's driven. He's all about his job. Wants to protect the universe. Cares about the people around him. He does fight for his squad, especially if you get into like the deeper lore, like the books and everything. Let's just jump right to the meet cute. I feel like it's pretty obvious how this might happen. Master Chief discovers an accidental portal to hell, right?
I mean, we find out that that's what the rings were actually for.
Is opening up a portal to hell.
Opening up a portal to hell.
Oh, I could see that.
And he ends up there, you're right, and that's how they meet. They meet fighting over the corpse of a Cyclops meatball thing.
Or did they think the other is an enemy at first?
I think it's more like, state your number, soldier. Because, like, the Doom Guy is very similar in, like, stature and equipment as, like, a Spartan, right? It would just look like an older version of a Spartan.
So, okay, but the Doom Guy doesn't have a voice. He doesn't talk.
Dude, I think for the purposes of this, we at least need to assume that Doom Guy. Well, you know what?
He could be a mute.
This is a challenge. Yeah. Can you fall in love with someone who never speaks? Ooh, it's the Little Mermaid.
So
it's the Little Mermaid in hell. Yes.
with guns.
With guns, we did it, guys.
So I think they communicate through Master Chief talking and Doom Guy shooting words into the ground. Like noob and WTF. It's all gonna be gamer speak though. He can't actually have conversations.
Nobody has a pen, so they have to use bullets.
In this canon, their suits can't come off. And Doom Guy's not allowed to see John's face because he's the player.
Doom Guy, I don't know. If you feel the same way that I do, teabag my face.
I just feel like you're kind of a player. But where's Cortana fall in this? Is she translating, or is Doom Guy secretly jealous of Cortana's like communication with Master Chief, but he can't talk about it?
I feel like once you go to hell, like all of your Wi-Fi and your AI stuff just stops working. Like the supernatural, this is actually a challenge for Chief because the supernatural elements in hell fry out all of the circuits.
I would argue that by this point in the future, Mark Zuckerberg has already gone to hell and started internet in hell. So, it could go either way.
Yeah, I think even if Cortana is there, Zach has a point that it's going to be like, listen, we've never been to hell before. We don't know what we're doing. We don't have the lay of the land. So I think, ironically enough, Master Chief is going to be dependent on Doom Guy to get him out of hell. Like, that's going to be their journey, right? And how they connect is, oh man, I'm stuck in the umpteenth layer of hell. Little green man, who isn't so little because, again, it's the reboot and he's like fully beefy and all that. But big beefy green man, get me out of hell. And then he just shoots like a giant arrow into the wall like this way, follow me.
I mean, I think there could be some play at Master Chief with the AI able to open doors without the red key card or the blue key card. So like Doom is beaten in a day. Like hell is destroyed in a day. Like you don't have to go through this long circuitous route to find the key to this door that's right next to you.
Cortana sets up a no clip so that you can just go through walls. That's pretty good. I like that. So they're like traversing through hell and blowing monsters to all pieces and whatnot. I have to wonder, Master Chief seems to have like emotions and stuff. Is this weighing heavily on him while the Doom Guy is just like, another day at the office, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, I don't think Chief has any problems gunning things down or killing people. That's not going to bother him. He does that every single day of his life. I think that the question is going to be, for them and for this relationship, is what do you do once you get past all the bloodshed? Because bloodshed is Chief's just day to day. But when
Doom Guy's day to day.
Yeah. So can these two have a life outside of murder?
I mean, I think Master Chief's going to be definitely kind of psychologically traumatized by the death because the way things die in Halo and the way things die in Doom are very different. Mm-hmm. Throwing a sticky grenade at a grunt's very different than blowing a gigantic Tyrannosaurus monster with 8 eyeballs and 6 arms into blood and gore.
Yeah, it's different than a QuickTime event where you rip out somebody's spine.
Yeah. So he might think Doom Guy's a little too violent. He's going to try to tone him down a bit. And it never works out when you try to change your partner.
Oh, I mean, Chief's used to just attacking either other Spartans in random exercises for hours and hours while people yell noob at each other. Or just attacking aliens. So is fighting all of these people going to... I mean, these two, like, there must be those times while they're traversing hell where, like, it's quiet at night and they go to get some R&R and then they do go for them big cuddles.
They can only cuddle, though. The suits can't come off. Their sexual relationship is called docking. I'm opening the airlock, Doom Guy.
It's my genital. My tiny closed-off genital
It's like
hatch.
that scene in The Pick of Destiny where he has to like poke the button. It's like you just slowly see it.
But I totally see these two in these big metal armor with Doom Guy just resting his head against Master Chief's shoulder as they go down for the night, and it's just like, tomorrow we will take the Tyrannosaurus Rex demon.
But Doom
Rest
Guy doesn't
well.
sleep.
Well, it's nice to just have some place to lay your head. A nice hard pectoral body plate to lay your head on. Listen, it can get pretty cold at night in hell. You need someone.
It's a cold day in hell.
Yeah. So you need someone to cuddle up next to. I do agree that this is going to be the sort of like forged in blood bond, right? But afterwards, Zach, I totally see your point that Master Chief's going to be like, now that we've done this, why don't we give you some backstory and we'll set up some warring factions and international, intergalactic political threat. And Doom Guy's like, shoots no in the wall, He just uses a rocket launcher and like blasts himself away.
He rocket jumps away.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so that is a problem because, Master Chief, he does tend to put himself on ice between wars. Mm-hmm. He basically is just like, well, this war is done. Wake me up when the next one starts.
He like shoots into the ground. Where are you going, honey? To finish the fight.
But there's no more oh, you're gone.
Yeah.
You never let me finish the fight. Every time we're together, I don't get to finish.
So, maybe that's the thing is that Doom Guy, he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to rest. He doesn't want to even put himself on ice to get ready for the next thing. Because Doom Guy is just like fighting through whatever is in front of him. Master Chief fights for a purpose. And maybe that's enough to drive them apart from each other.
What's the next Doom game is like Doom Unlimited. Mm-hmm. Where it's just constant killing and you don't stop, and it never stops until the end of the game. And monsters just keep waving after wave. So, maybe that's how he gets over this relationship. Maybe it's canon that between the last Doom game and now, Master Chief and him had a little bit of a summer fling.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect analogy. It's a summer fling in hell that these two went hot and heavy while they were traversing the 7 layers of the succubuses or whatever it is. And then they leave because it's reached its natural conclusion. They both part ways. Master Chief goes off to try to set up a movie franchise that fails. And then Doom Guy keeps going on. But I would argue whenever Doom Guy is just like blowing his way through enemies in the future, if he happens to cross paths with Master Chief, it's gonna be like, kill demon, kill demon, kill demon, fuck Master Chief, kill demon, kill demon, kill demon. Like, it's gonna be a quick time event that between blowing apart all of these horrific monsters from hell, you can slap that ass of Master Chief.
Doom Guy is going to become the homewrecker of the Master Chief Quake Guy relationship of later on.
Doom Guy just gets in there. Oh, up, B.
Yeah. Caw. That's the sound of him and Master Chief having sex.
Left, right, left, down.
You just see like Master Chief floating, doing the sword jump in like the high-rise map from Halo 2, and like, what's happening? Oh, Doom Guy's just eating his ass.
Oh my god.
Those glitches were the best.
Well, that one got weird.
Ended on a weird note. That's how you have to.
But that's how you have to end it. These two traversing the world and then occasionally fucking in QuickTime events.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, while we all digest what just happened, we're going to take another quick break and then come back for our Matchmaker segment. All right, and before we dive into the Matchmaker segment, just a quick reminder, a great way that you can help out the podcast is to go like, rate, subscribe, the standard podcast stuff. It's a big way to just help other people find it, to help us get the word out about this fan fiction insanity to as many people as possible. And just tell your friends and family. Don't be embarrassed. They'll like it too.
You need all those boating podcasts to be pushed down in the searchability and have yours come to the top.
Look, our rivalry with shipping podcasts podcast
is legendary and soaked in blood.
We're going to take down UPS.
It's soaked in blood and other things. It's time for our Matchmaker segment where we are going to try to find love for a fictional single. Now, Steven, this is a premier fictional matchmaking service. So who have you brought for us today?
So, one of my favorite movies is Total Recall. And there's a character in Total Recall that's just so iconic and has one of the greatest lines in the world. It's Quaid, start the reactor. And the character is Kuato. You know, he's kind of a shy guy. He's hard to find. Everybody's looking for him. He's got kind of that renown where, you know, all the ladies want him, all the guys know about him, but nobody knows where to find him. And he's a little bit of a spiritual guy. He can kind of, he says he's a psychic. So you probably want to be paired with somebody who's a little bit spiritual. And, you know, he's got a big personality. Let's just say that.
I feel like you've overlooked kind of, and this may have been intentional because this is a matchmaking service. He is a growth that sprouts out of somebody's stomach.
They don't prefer that word, but okay.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a mutant, Greg.
That's
the word they
don't
like.
prefer that word either. Excuse me. They prefer chest challenged.
Is that really that's the preferred term?
They're chest challenged. He is a chest challenged male gentleman.
All right. Well, Greg, I got somebody for this. I could take a stab at this one if you like.
Don't say stab because there's some very brutal scenes involving stabbings in Total Recall.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's get started. So, I knew that we needed somebody for Kuato who understood the spiritual connection, the psychic connection, and that's why I want to pair him up with the psychic from Mallrats. Now, if you think back to Mallrats, they go to the mall, he's talking to this one woman, she's got a third nipple. What else happens on Mars in Total Recall? 3 nippled women. So he's already in his element, but this is a woman who knows how to access, whether intentionally or not, what somebody wants and really get into the heart of it. They can build a new psychic business together as well. They're gonna set up in malls across the world and the universe once they get to Mars. They are gonna be great together. She's gonna be taking her top off so she can truly get into his psychic abilities. He's just gonna reach his little arms forward and tweak those nipples as they make psychic love.
Quaid, get to the food court. Try the churros.
But of course, we can't just offer one option here at Chips in the Night. So Greg, who have you got for Kuato?
Kuato needs someone that does have a spiritual connection, that can sort of see into the future, not really. But you know what? Kuato also wants someone that's on his level, both intellectually and physically. He needs someone who's only about like chest high, and maybe, let's face it, is a little bit busted up in the facial region. That's why I think, and controversial take here, Yoda would be the perfect fit for him. Yoda, sorry, he's fucking ugly. Like, he is a gross looking character, but beautiful on the inside, has the psychic abilities. I feel like these two would really understand each other. Both the challenges that they've faced together, maybe part of the advantages that they've had as like psychic-ish beings, as leaders of rebellions. I think that there's something there.
That was perfectly timed.
Well, Steven, do you have any questions for us before we go into the rebuttal round?
I have a question about your client from Mallrats. Does she have standards?
She's working a psychic booth at a mall. She does not have standards.
Well, I'll be happy to answer that in my rebuttal.
How
Greg?
about any questions for Yoda, though? That's all that I care about, because I'm a selfish person.
Is Yoda afraid of slimy things?
Ooh, interesting. That's a valid point. Okay, Zach, how do you feel? You gonna try to tear me apart here? Let's do this.
Let's do it. So here's the thing. Yes, the mall lady psychic has standards, but she's not just about the surface. This is a psychic woman, a woman who is not above chewing on a third nipple, should it come to that. No, she's going to have the standards of connection. She just wants to connect to her love, Kuato. Yoda, on the other hand, way too serious, way too much of a loner for a guy who is literally two people at once. Yeah. And that's my time.
It's a fair point. All right, cue me up, Zach. Of course Yoda likes slimy things. He lives in a swamp. That's his whole jam. It's nothing but slime all the time. He's gonna look at that slimy face and be like, get me some of that I can. Now, as far as the psychic mall lady, I mean, come on. This is a woman who works in downtown New Jersey. Her head is gonna explode, much like Arnold Schwarzenegger's did in Total Recall. If she has to look at this fucking thing coming out of some dude's chest, she can't handle that.
There are way worse things in Jersey.
You're right. This is just a small sliver of the kind of body horror that you'll see in Jersey.
Dude, have you been to the Jersey Shore in summertime?
Oh boy, I have. So yeah, Quato is Quato is like a 4 out of 10.
He's still on the scale.
Yeah, can smash.
So
Quato can smash.
So Steven, we want to make sure that Kuato is happy that we set him up on a date that is going to make his life even better. Who do you want to send for a nice, quiet dinner or whatever this date he might want it to be? Who do you want to set up your friend with?
Honestly, I think Kuato just needs a win right now, even if it doesn't turn anything long term. I think the psychic from Mallrats is gonna give him that win, and if at least he gets to motorboat her through a hug, he'll be happy.
Look, topless psychics are all the rage on Mars, I hear, or they will be after this. So there we have it. We've found love for the most unlikely character I think we've done so far.
Quato is gonna go rolling by in a convertible with the psychic lady with the third nipple, and they're gonna go past the 3-boobed lady, and Quato is just gonna be like, "Yeah, jealous much."
There's a convertible, but the door has a little window in it.
Look at my slam piece.
Yoda ends up with Kratos, whatever his name is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Krang, yeah.
Krang, yeah.
I had very recently used Krang for something on this show, which is the only reason I didn't pair him here.
All right. Well, Steven, thank you so much for joining us on today's show. If people want to keep up with you, where can they find you? What can they go to? Plug away.
They can go to my Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, and they can check out all of the content at AfterBuzzTV. We do after shows for all sorts of TV shows. So anything you want to have a discussion on, we got a podcast for it, and we have movie stuff on Popcorn Talk as well. So any of those places, plus I do the Killjoys after show. So you'll get to hear me make a lot of crass jokes and hashtags that make no sense.
You're not still trying to plug the Sleepy Hollow after show?
Sleepington Abbey is ended. We did The Gifted, and that was.
Are you saying that was better or worse?
It was also a train wreck. So if you want to enjoy a podcast that, if you're a fan of X-Men and watch The Gifted, catch up on that because we're brutally honest about it.
All right. Greg, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on the tweets at Greg Goodness. You can also find me occasionally performing at the Pack Theater in beautiful, sunny Hollywood, California.
I'm Zach Wilson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @ThatZachWilson. Also, be sure to follow the podcast itself, which you can find on all those platforms, Instagram, Twitter, @ShippingPod. And you can send your suggestions for shipping either to those places or directly to us via email at shipsinthenightemail@gmail.com. People have finally started finding it, Greg.
Yeah, it just took about like 3 weeks and constant plugins.
We got a whole bunch of emails this week. Our shipyard is getting so full of amazing ships for us to do in the future.
I'm flabbergasted that people were able to find Ships in the Night email at gmail.com. The most confusing address of all time.
All right, we're going to sign off. Steven, one more time, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, guys, this has been Ships in the Night, casting off.